Here we go. Date story. So, you guys know that, shit's weird right now. People don't want to, meet in public. People don't want to, do dates and things. And, I get a phone call from my friend. He's like, hey, man, I know you don't get down with this blind date stuff, but there's a friend that knows who you are, and you've met her before at one of our, friend get-togethers. So, would you want to meet up with her? I'm like, sure. I'm down. I ain't got nothing to do. I had no plans. So, I get her number, text her, and say, hey, let's go out to dinner. And she's like, yeah, that sounds good. She's like, do you want to meet me at Cheesecake Factory? I'm like, I like that place. I'm down. So I was like, okay, hey, I'm about to go get some good food. So I call my buddy back and I tell him, hey, we're going to meet up. This is kind of weird that you called me and, set this whole thing up. But, hey, I'm down. I knew who she was. I remember who she was from a get-together. So she does the reservations and all that. And she tells me, hey, meet me at 7 o'clock. So I'm like, okay, I'll be there at 7. I thought it was weird because I'm like, usually I'd drive or something, but hey, I'll meet there. And I just thought it was all random. So off the bat, I was like, this is kind of sus. So I get there and she's looking good looking girl. But as soon as we sit down at the table, it turned into a fucking interrogation. Again, this is the shit I always talk about, being single nowadays. It's a lot different. You gotta lay your whole fucking life out on the line, just to impress someone. And just like, hey, last time we talked, you owned your company and yada yada yada. She's like, how's that going for you? I'm like, oh, I sold it. She's like, oh, why'd you sell it? I'm like, well, I'm a full-time gamer now. I stream on Twitch and kind of tried to explain Twitch in a short thing. Because I'm just like, hey, I broadcast live on Twitch every day. I stream. I have a great community. And she's just not having it. Not having it. She's like, you play video games. I'm like, oh, fuck. Shit. I'm like, yeah, I do. She's like, you sold your company to be a gamer. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, that doesn't seem kind of too smart for your future. I'm like, all right, time out, pause. I'm like, what's so fucking special about you, So I'm like, well, what do you do now? And she's like, oh, I'm a finance manager at a dealership. I'm like, oh, I used to sell cars. I know what your job's like. Cool. Nothing fucking special. So I'm sitting there and we're eating food. We're having a good time. And, and then I started telling her, I want to get into real estate and, this is kind of what I've done. And, I enjoy my life and yada, yada, yada. And pretty much had to sit there and justify everything that I said to her. And, I told her, I'm like, you're coming off kind of rude, for me to have to sit here and impress you for no reason. I feel like I have to sit here and impress you. This is something you should not have to, worry about the first date, She's like, no, I totally understand. She's like, I just want to know what I'm getting myself into nowadays. And I'm like, look, you are the one that wanted to set this up. Not me. You. But I appreciate it. And I was getting kind of loud in the restaurant, I'm fucking talking, And there was just a weird vibe. A weird vibe there, And I'm trying to enjoy it. And I'm just so I'm starting to think of exit strategies. What do I do? Just tell her I'm not interested. What else are we gonna do tonight? What are we gonna do? So I'm like, fuck it. Just roll with the punch. Let's just go with it. Whatever. 2 things come out of this. 1, I leave. 2, I stay and try and enjoy myself. Should have chose option A. But I was just like, whatever. So we finished dinner. And she starts talking well, what's your 5-year plan? And I'm like, this shit's starting to get under my skin. I'm like, why are you so worried about what I'm doing? So I asked her, I'm like, why are you interrogating me right now? Like, what did your ex do? Like, what functionality in your brain is triggering you to ask me these questions? And I'm like, why? And she's like, oh, well, I've just been in a lot of shitty relationships. I just don't want to date a deadbeat. I'm like, we're just casually on a date right now. And you're talking about like signing the contract right now. I literally felt like I was in a job interview. So, Dad, you didn't miss much. Just at dinner, she was interrogating me, asking me about why do I stream, yada, yada, yada. So I'm trying to keep the open mind. She's looking good. She's a good looking girl. But just remember, every beauty doesn't come with brains. That's like the perfect package right there. Beauty and brains in one package is very rare to find. So I'm like, dude, she's so good looking. Like, she even had like a dress on. I'm like, the asshole in me is like, just wait it out. But my self-conscious was like, get the fuck out of here. But her legs, and she was looking good. Idiot. Dumbass. So I dealt with it. And she's like, hey, do you want to hang out afterwards? And I'm like, sure. Yeah, that sounds great. She's like, well, we can go to my apartment. It's a few miles down the road. I'm like, sure. Sounds great. The whole time I'm driving there, I'm mad. I'm mad as shit. Because I'm like, dude, this girl is a total fucking nutfest. Don't even talk to her. Turn the car around. Don't follow. But I still go. I'm just like, whatever. So I drive there. This is where shit gets weird. Go in the house. Nice house. She had a nice apartment. And she's like, do you want to drink some wine? I'm like, I like wine, but I don't like to drink and drive. So if I start drinking, I'm probably going to Uber or staying. She's like, oh, that's cool. You can crash on the couch. The fucking couch? The fucking couch? Okay, wait a minute. I see where this is going. I get put on the couch right off the rip. Okay. So I start drinking wine. I'm like, fuck it. Whatever. I'm like, I'll be all right. Like, it's cool. Phone rings. Stepbro calls. And she's sitting there talking on the phone, and they start talking about me, and I'm like, what do you mean? Like, because I'm like, I'm not trying to like, fucking like interrupt, but I'm like, what's going on? So she hangs up the phone and she's like, well, I posted that I was on a date on Facebook and my brother saw that. And he calls me and he knows who you are. So she was sitting there talking to him for a couple minutes and he was like telling her like, oh yeah, he streams on Twitch. He's cool. He does a lot of great things. And like she was like fucking totally rewound now. She was on the other end now. She was just like, oh, well, he says that you're really cool and you do cool things on Twitch and, you should tell me more about this. I'm like, what? An hour ago, you didn't want nothing. You hated Twitch. You hated that it was a fucking full-time job for someone, And I'm like, this is getting out of the fucking, this is getting weird, And, and I told her, I'm like, I'm not no fucking big name. And she's like, no, I never said that. She's like, it just seems like this is actually a thing. Like Twitch is actually a thing for people. She's like, I didn't think it was that serious. And I'm like, but it took your brother to say, hey, he's cool. Than for me to even speak the truth myself. So I just start kicking back the drinks. I'm like, whatever. This is fucking weird. But hey, that dress is looking good. You know what I'm saying? And then she started talking about like, once the wine starts kicking in, that's when the real person comes out. And she started talking about the exes all the shit I don't want to hear. I'm just like, I'm just looking at the couch like, yeah, she wasn't kidding. We're sleeping on the couch tonight, boys. I was out, dude. I'm telling you. I was looking at the door. I was like, dude, call the Uber, because I had a couple glasses of wine. I don't drink and drive. It doesn't matter if it's I'll do like one beer at a restaurant, but that's it. Anything over that, because I'm drinking water at the restaurant, I can leave. But I take that shit very seriously. But I was deep in the drinks. We was chilling, and I didn't want to leave, and so I just kept hearing this bullshit, and she's like, well, this is why I'm like this, she's giving me the whole list of why she's fucked up in the head. And I'm like, look, I get it, but like, this is something you don't talk with someone, like when you're trying to get to know them, like you bring this shit up down the road in case if there's any problems. But I told her, I'm like, your shit's not screwed on right. Like, you're disqualifying me because some shithead was an asshole to you, and that guy before that was an asshole. Stop comparing me to others. I hate when people do that. Guys do it, girls do it. You know what I'm saying? So, I start talking to her. I start telling her about the whole Twitch thing more, and I tell her like, hey, this is my life, and this is what I like to do. It kind of makes it, fun for me because I can enjoy my life. I can do anything I want during the day, and then I have to go to work. I have to stream, and that could be a good or a bad thing for some people, because sometimes people can't be together too much. Like, let's just snap fingers. I'm dating a girl and she's here. I would tell her why I'm streaming, like go somewhere, like either she'll be working or go hang out with her friends, because like you don't want to be together as much all the time, because that shit causes fucking tension when you first start dating. You know what I'm saying? When you're married, that's different. You've made it past that point. But I told her, I'm like, you need to study yourself first before you start getting into this. And to the point, I'm looking at the fucking clock. It's midnight. I'm like, what are we doing here? Is the couch calling my name, or am I getting in the bed? What's going on here? So I went straight sneak attack mode. I'm like, I gotta use the bathroom. Go to the bathroom. Got out of the bathroom. Bang. Open the bedroom door. Wanted to check it out. I'm in there. She's like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, no, I'm just looking around. So she starts, I start asking her. She had these penguins and shit, these glass figurines. I'm like, oh, hey, my mom collects those too. That's cool. She's like, oh yeah, that's cool and all. But why are you chilling here? I'm like, I don't know. I'm getting kind of tired. Looking to chill. She's like, yeah, well, let's chill in the living room. The living room. Fuck. Shit. I'm like, dude, I've been torturing myself, putting up with your shit, listening to these stupid ass stories. I've told her, I'm like, look, I don't like your stories. Like, you're literally making me weird. I straight up told her, if I wasn't drinking, I probably would have left by now, because I'm like, you're literally just telling me shit that I don't want to hear. I'm like, it's just not cool. I'm not sitting here barking about my ex-girlfriends and shit. So, we keep chatting, and she's like, well, I'm getting tired too. She's like, I'm gonna go lay down. I'm like, okay. I'm on the fucking couch, okay? I'm literally on the couch. I'm about to open up Uber. I'm like, dude, just leave. Just leave. Just fucking leave. Door opens. Hey, come here. Come here, okay. I walk in. I'm ready to go. She's like, let's chill. I'm like, okay. I played reverse psychology with this one, okay? I'm in the bed, chilling, Got all my clothes on. I'm kicking it. I went reverse psychology. I'm like, hey, thanks for not letting me sleep on the couch, but, I just want to get a good night's sleep tonight. I got a busy day tomorrow. She's like, oh, that's cool. And she wouldn't initiate nothing. So I fucking, boom. I turn over. I'm facing the other direction. Mind fucking her. Brain Ninja style. Dane Cook. Look it up. Dane Cook, Brain Ninja. I'm literally just freaking out. She's like tapping the fucking bed. Like, so what now? I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, I thought we're like chilling. I thought it's time to go to bed, you know? I'm like, you didn't really seem interested. You're like, hey, the couch. You haven't really gave me any key points. You know, I'm not a fan of the whole breaks. And she's like, what do you mean? What do you mean, you know, about the brakes? I'm like, well, there's a certain point that a girl hits the brakes on a guy when that's just not cool. Once you get to a certain point in you know, in playtime, there's no brakes. And you always check, like, hey, are you sure? Are you sure we can keep going? Because there's no turning back now. Nothing. It's full send. And I told her, I'm like, I really don't want to deal with that right now. And she's like, no. She's like, it's all cool, you know, I'm down. I was so confused, like so fucking confused. So we start playing, chilling, you know? Phone rings. Step bro calls again. This mother, all right, he was good on the first phone call, but the second one, why are you calling? He's, like I said, they're just talking. I'm just sitting in the bed like, bro, what the fuck is going on? She gets off the phone. She's like, oh, he just wanted to make sure everything was okay. You know, wanted to make sure that I was all right. I'm like, all right. You know, hey, that's a brother. Good looking out. I asked her, like, does he watch me? She's like, no, he just knows who you are. I'm like, okay, thank you. Because I didn't want to deal with someone coming in chat like, hey, you know, you were dating my sister. So I was like, okay, good to go. So now, full send, bang. I hope he's not watching. Full send, it's game time. That fucking dress came off, and goddamn, it was worth the bullshit, I'll tell you that. Full send, clap cheeks, deed done, bang. I felt good. I felt good about it. I'm like, you were patient. You literally waited to the bottom of the ninth, and you smashed. I'm cool. It was worth it. But here's where shit gets weird. She turned into a fucking psycho. I definitely earned that one. Literally, I go out, I go get a drink. And she goes in the bathroom, does her, you know, thing, whatever. I think she put on like a gown. I go to lay back in the bed, and she's just like sitting there, she's just staring at me, and she's like, "So, what do you want to talk about?" I'm like, "Oh no," I'm like, "I thought we were just, you know, getting ready to go to sleep." She kept chatting till like 5 in the fucking morning, just yapping. Just so what now? You know, what do we do now? I'm like, what do you mean we do now? I'm like, 3 hours ago, you didn't want nothing to do with me, and now you're just yapping. Like, it made no fucking sense. Like, I thought it was about to be Boomtown 2.0, but it wasn't. She was just like literally like trying to lay her life on the fucking line right now. And bro. So I'm starting to think like, hey, get some sleep. We can get an exit strategy in the morning. We're good to go. I was ready to fucking tiptoe out with the shoes, dip set. It was in my mind. I'm like, we can leave. But, you know, I fell asleep. Woke up. She's fucking cooking breakfast. Acting like this perfect chick now. Like, oh, hey, I'm making breakfast. Want to chill. Like, the snap of the finger, she's Dr. Jekyll and Miss Hyde. Like, it was the weirdest fucking thing ever. Weirdest thing ever. I'm like, why are you being like this now? Like, when we were at dinner, you were someone totally different. She's like, oh, we're comfortable now, and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, it doesn't work like that. It just, I'm like, there's no reason. No one just, it doesn't just snap like that, and all of a sudden, you're Miss Goody Two Shoes now. So I was being nice. I'm like, I'll eat that. I'll eat breakfast. You know, I was hungry. And, you know, I told her, I'm like, hey, I got a dip. You know, I got shit to do today. And yeah, I'm going to go to the gym. And so I was leaving. And she literally comes outside and she's like, I'll walk you out. And I'm like, I can't get rid of this one. The fuck you mean walk me out? That's my job. I'm supposed to do that. Like, I was ready to walk down the hallway with the walk of shame. Like, I was ready. But no, she had to walk me out. Well, I get up to my truck and I'm like, look, I'm like, this was fun. But you literally, you know, there's something twisted with you. Like, I'm not regretting what we did because that was fun and all, but like, you were two totally different personalities the whole night. Like, you were all like defensive, was worried about what I was up to, worried about my life, and then all of a sudden, click of the light, you're all Miss Nice thing, and everything wants to be all perfect now. And I'm like, it's hard to trust someone like that. So we had fun, gamer. But I above, I swear to God, I said that. I'm straightforward, dude. I was just like, literally, I gotta go. I was like, I gotta go. I said that to her face. Yeah, why wouldn't you? What do you do? Text someone that? That's some pussy shit. I called her a gamer. I did. I was trying to piss her off. I was trying to piss her off. I was trying, dude. I was like really trying to get her mad because I was like, I don't want to deal with this shit right now. So I finally leave. I'm finally pulling out the apartment complex, the truck, headed home. Bam, you know, and the phone just, it wouldn't stop. It wouldn't stop. It was just stage 5 clinger. Like, it was the scariest moment ever. Like, she's like, so, like, well, when are we gonna hang out again? Blah, 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 blah. Like, you know, hope you had fun. Smile. I was like, what? Why are you acting like this? Yeah, I didn't tell her where I lived, so we're good there. But I was just like, dude, this is why I don't like just go on some random dates. Like, I kind of want to like get to know someone's personality, make sure they're not a fucking weirdo. And she just turned into a psycho. But my dumbass, being a fucking man, I should have just walked out of the goddamn restaurant. Right when she said, do you want to hang out after? I should have said, no, I got plans. I should have just went to dinner and was smart. But no, dumbass, idiot, had to go check out what was going on at the apartment. Stupid fucking dress. Fuck those dresses, man. Stop wearing those tight dresses and shit. That shit was a bait. I had no chance from the get-go. There was no defense. I just didn't know what to do. But still, it was the most weirdest fucking dates I've been on, just because I was just like, where does it come from to the weirdest fucking interrogation dinner to the couch, and then fuck the couch, and then we get in, and then it was just it was, I'm not blaming the woman for wearing a dress, but it's just, I'm a sucker for that shit. I you know. Yes, yeah. Everyone, all the 12-year-olds spamming in chat. Yeah, I strapped up. If you'd like to know. Usually we go raw, but yeah, strapped up. I was pissed. I was mad. There was no way that I was getting it without it. I was mad as fuck. Sometimes you gotta give, sacrifice, strap up, you know. you know, I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. I felt like I was cornered. I felt like I lost from the get-go. But I'm telling you, if I could have just put like a secret camera on me and you could have heard the conversations at the dinner table, everybody would have left. Everybody would have left. You would not have went forward. I'm telling you. You would not. No. I literally told myself, like, you shouldn't go. You shouldn't do it. You should not do it. Don't do it. We don't need to get the trophy on the first day. Just back off. I'll take a bonk. But man, Chad. It's the women, man. I blame the women. It's, you know, you look good and you can rock that shit. Nothing wrong with that. But fuck. I thought I had it all figured out. I thought I could tell I thought I could tell myself no. Like, I thought, like, I'm mature enough to tell myself no, don't do it. But I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. It's tough. It's tough. She a blonde? No. She was a brunette. But I just felt like I needed to tell everybody because it was fucking weird. Like, I was creeped out. I was creeped out about it. I was creeped out. I came home and I was like, it was weird. I called my buddy. I'm like, you're an asshole. I'm like, why'd you set me up with that fucking weirdo? He's like, he starts laughing. He's like, dude, look, my wife was saying that her friend needed to meet someone and you're always busy too, but we know she's a fucking nutcase, so we thought it'd be funny. Oh, what do you mean? I'm like, is this a fucking prank? You think this is funny? I'm like, you don't understand what I just went through. Stupid friends. My friends say that all the time. Oh, you need to go out on dates. You need to do more. I'm like, don't worry about me, man. Oh, we're always doing couples things. I'm like, yeah, because you guys are fucking weird now and you can't do boys' night out. But, yeah. I felt set up from the get-go. I literally felt... But it wasn't totally my fault. And I told her this before I left. I'm like, you set this up intentions of knowing what was going to happen. And she told me, she's like, yeah, I was just saying the couch thing to prank you and fuck with you. She's like, you know, she's like, I invited you back. You should have known from that. And then I'm like starting to think like, oh, how many other motherfuckers you invite back? Like, but I'm like, how the hell did the guys make it past the first stage? How did I make it past that? Because she was a fucking nut job. Like, I thought it'd be safe to like talk to a girl that didn't game, but holy shit, that's a whole different fucking ball game. That's I passed the patience test for sure. I did, and but she's probably perfectly fine. Just didn't want you to be hanging around, so she pretended to be psycho. No, that's definitely not the case, Bad Wolf. I would have caught that. She was weird. Gamers are just superior. It's not that. It's just I you know, I just didn't understand like why she was like that, and you know, it's very hard, especially being a gamer, and you know, explaining to someone, like, you don't want to lie to someone, you want to tell them the truth, like what you do, but they like literally she took it as a joke, like the streamer thing, like she was just like, you play video games? And I'm like, are we doing date number 2? No. I was nice and texted her and told her, hey, that I don't think we should go forward with this no more. And You gotta find different than you. It keeps it fun. I mean, I agree. Yes and no. I'm just a sucker, dude. I'm just a man, dude. It's tough to, there's been times in my life where I've been able to say no, but usually I can keep it together. I'm just like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. And I'm good. And I'm fine. But when you get the legs and the dress involved, it's tough, man. It's tough. It's tough. I couldn't say no. And no, it's tough right now, You can't be as social as you really want to, but yeah. It blew up all in my fucking face anyway, because literally I didn't text her. Like, I had to call her. Because when we started talking about, like, future stuff, she was like, hey, let's hang out again. And I didn't want to text her. So I called her. I'm like, look, I'm not going to text over the phone, but I just think, like, and I was forward with her. I'm like, the patience I had to go through to sit at dinner and have you criticize me and then come to the house, and then all of a sudden your brother calls and says, like, oh, hey, I know who he is, and yada, yada, yada. And, like, I'm like, it took that for you to accept me. I'm like, that's not cool. Like, you should have accepted it from the get-go and not gave a fuck. You knew I had my shit together. I'm not some deadbeat idiot that lives in my mom's basement. I got my shit together. I got my own house. I have my own vehicle. No debt. That's a fucking win right there. But no, you proceeded to make me impress you, and it's kind of like not what I'm looking for. I'm like, I shouldn't have to fucking present you my whole life just to impress you, and that's what you want. You want someone to, like, she was an alpha. 2 alphas don't work. So I was I was nice as I could possibly be, and it's not like she was like taking it the wrong way. She's like, no, I totally understand. I was waiting for her to be like, well, we shouldn't have messed around then, but she like totally understood it. I mean, she was my age. She was 30. Yeah, she was 30. So she's like, hey, all good. Had fun last night, but yeah. I just thought you could have brains and beauty and kindness and matureness in all one, and nope, wrong again, idiot. It was just fucking weird, man. Usually I'm cool about this stuff, but like I was so weirded out about the whole scenario because the phone call and like how she like just snapped the finger and changed everything. I'm like, I gotta tell chat. I'm like, this is fucking weird. Like, I don't even feel like a winner that I smashed. I don't. I mean, at the moment, yeah, it looked good, but afterwards, I'm like, I don't feel like a winner right now. I feel like a dog. Just, hey, yeah, it's perfectly normal. I doubt she's watching right now. That's what I'm saying, Shadow. Most people wouldn't have went for the smash. What if the phone call was planned? I don't know if it was planned or not. I don't know if anything was planned or not, but it was just weird. Incoming phone call. Just, yeah, I'm watching. You're a piece of shit. Thanks for telling the story. I honestly don't know how I made it past dinner. I really don't. I just like, I'm different. Like with dating and stuff, there's always a challenge that gets put in front of you. There's always like a milestone, like a girl or a guy will say, this is never going to happen. Like if a girl says that to me, like, you can never get me, bing, I'm in. Fucking full send. If I want it, I'm going to try. And I'll get shut down until I get it. I haven't failed yet, but that challenge of it's just not put on a plate is intriguing. So she kept doing that. She's like, oh, couch, or, maybe she tested me at dinner. Maybe she tested my patience. I don't fucking know. But man, I was sober at dinner too. That's what, because I was driving. I'm like, I can't drink. I didn't start drinking. I didn't even have I didn't have nothing at dinner. I didn't start drinking until I got to her place. And I started drinking wine and a couple shots of tequila. She had tequila, so I was like, all right, that's a win. But you know, started getting it flowing. I like clear intentions too, no bullshit, but it's so hard to find nowadays. You got to understand. Like, it's either you meet someone online, you know, you meet someone, a friend through a friend. As a streamer, you're just fucked. You're just fucked. Like, you try and talk to a gamer girl, it's either they like you or they don't. It's like, because you stream every day on Twitch, so like if they know who you are, it's either that they like you or they don't. It's like you're just totally fucked. It's not fun. So you're like, well, I don't want to deal with that bullshit. Maybe I'll try something else. And didn't work. Did not work. It does not sound fun, Amy, is it? Misty sweatsticles all I need. Yeah. How's that different from anything normal? Because it's just a total different thing. It's just totally different. You know, that's why girls deal with weirdos on Twitch and guys deal with some weirdos too. You know, some girls, but I think girls have it more worse on Twitch, but it's not that it's a name thing, Pixie. It's more of just like a titlement thing. But yeah, I thought you guys would get a kick out of that. I was fucking weirded out. Very weirded out, but hey, my patience was tested. Not fun. But yeah, I'm sure we'll highlight this grandma mention, put it on Twitter. The girl I'm talking to, you met at the gym. She needed a spotter and asked if I would, and then gave her my number and Snapchat. So I'm seeing how this goes. Way to go, Shadow! Way to go, Shadow. Right at the gym, too? She had those tight yoga pants on, too, didn't she? Bang. I don't hit on girls at the gym. Clyde's date for the $5 tip. Hey, Clyde. When you want to reply to my text, is it because you were all self-conscious about your 2-incher? Those 10 seconds in bed were great. Yeah, nice dono. Dog Boy, thank you for the 16. Penguin, thank you for the 9. McClister, thank you for the 4. You assholes. Josh, thanks for the 15. Fucking shitters. Fuck you guys. Trying to tell my shit here, damn it. Okay? Trying to say what's going on, okay? Anyways, Dr. Squash, it smells pretty good, man.